Well, back to the Shadow Treasurer, Angus Taylor now. Angus, good to see you again. It has been a hell of a week. In one way or another, it will be discussed on election night. Now, the Prime Minister, he tried to spin trust in his favour yesterday during his speech, but does that now ring hollow?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he lied. He and the Treasurer lied over 100 times to Australians. This went to 2 elections. Pete, it was legislated, they supported the legislation, and the way they were both trying to spin it yesterday was beyond laughable. I mean, it's actually sad that a Prime Minister could lie to the Australian people so many times. And people, of course, made commitments to their detriment on the understanding that this was going to go ahead. You had every reason to believe that it would, and he was actually lying right up until just before he made this announcement. We know now he made the decision back at the end of last year, and I'm sure there will be more to come out on this over the coming months. And of course, people are going to hear time and time again in the lead up to the next election that the man who said his word was his bond has a word that means absolutely nothing. It is totally meaningless, and anything he promises in the lead up to the next election or the by-election, frankly, everyone should take with a grain of salt.
Yeah, look, every government lies in one way or another, but it's certainly the scale of this one that stands out. But I asked your opponent here yesterday...
This was the mother of all lies, Pete.
I asked your opponent yesterday here if he was sorry, Angus, and he wouldn't apologise. But Jim Chalmers and Anthony Albanese, in fact, did their utmost to avoid using those words, lie, broken promise. So just on that point, what does that say to you?
Well, it just says that there's no remorse. He doesn't get it. Frankly, he doesn't get it. It upsets me, Pete, because the 10 years I've been in politics, I have seen trust erode in politics, and I think this is a really tragic thing. I think it's unfortunate that people trust politicians, and government less than they used to. And I think it's on all of us to try to deal with that. But this is not helping, that's for sure, yeah. Pete. It's really taking us backwards on that.
Just looking at some of the data, Angus, so $28 billion is the cost of bracket creep over the decade because that 37% bracket remains. So more and more people are going to get caught up by this as wages rise. So if you win the next election, would you take that tax bracket out?
Well, we remain in favour of the stage 3 tax cuts. There's 3 stages. There were benefits to lower income earners in the earlier stages, of course, and the 3rd stage was all about taking out that 37 cents threshold, and in the process dealing a real blow to bracket creep, so that the thief in the night that Labor loves so much, that steals from you by raising your taxes automatically over time, would go. I'm not going to announce today what we're going to take forward to the next election, Pete, much as you would love me to, and much as your program is a wonderful program and a great place to make election announcements. I won't be doing it today. But I will be saying, and I'll continue to say, we strongly support the stage 3 tax cuts. Look, this was genuine reform. There hasn't been enough reform in this country, and this was the real deal. And what it did is it said to Australians, go hard, invest in your future, build your business, build your career, and you can get ahead, and you can know that you can keep 70 cents in the dollar regardless of what inflation does. Regardless of what inflation does. And that's a very powerful message. It will change behaviour. We will see behavioural change by taking it away, frankly, because you've got to remember the higher wage earners, many love to hate them, but they are the ones who are disproportionately important in paying taxes, pay over half of our taxes. They're disproportionately important in creating jobs, in investing in the economy, and taking risks. Everyone has that opportunity. That's what's so wonderful about our country. But this is a disproportionately important group in creating a strong economy. Yeah. And so we have to make sure the incentives and rewards are there.
Just finally, and a quick one here, Angus, an announcement yesterday that ordinarily would have received a bit more attention, the ACCC looking into supermarket price gouging. What are your hopes for what this achieves?
Yeah, we want to see a competitive retail and grocery sector in this country. That's good for farmers, good for consumers. I mean, I'm a big believer in the importance of competition policy. You've got to make sure that customers are the regulators in the economy. You've got to give them the power to make sure that they can get the best possible deal. We've seen the exact opposite. We've seen real cronyism from Labor, and we saw that with in the airlines industry with Qantas. But my hope is that we can get beyond that and get to real competition policy and make sure that we do have a competitive sector, good for farmers, good for consumers, good for Australia.
That's the Shadow Treasurer, Angus Taylor. Appreciate it, Angus. Thank you.